All right, so here are the files that we sent from Nomad Sculpt, the STLs. We're going to open this in Lychee SLICER so we can get this sliced, and then we can send it over to the Anycubic Photon M3 Premium resin printer and get this little guy printed. Let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so here's Lychee SLICER. Basically, you can just drop your files in here. So I'm going to open that folder back up. All right, so we have the full body one. We'll drop that in last. Let's drop these guys in. I just take them all and then drop them in there. Now, one thing that I should have done in Nomad, I forgot to do, was increase the size because they're quite small. So when you bring them over into Lychee SLICER, they are tiny. So there's different kinds of slicers and things like that, but this one just seems to be the easiest for me. So I'm going to select all of my pieces, and then I'm going to do scale, and I'm just going to make them bigger. The little yellow box. There we go. Oh, oh, what is this? There we go. That's better. So this is going to be, this is actually the bottom. This is the underside of the platform. So we're looking at everything upside down. So just keep that in mind. Make it bigger. So to figure out how big I want to make him. Okay, so what do we think about this size? Sometimes it's a little bit hard to tell. So what I like to do, they change things around a little bit. Oh, there we go. So you can go to prepare. Let's see, where is it? There we go, at scale. So if we look at it at scale, it's still quite small. Half the size of a soda can. So we want to make it bigger than that. Scale. And another thing that's important is I still have all the pieces selected. They're kind of hard to see. I don't know what they did with this scale thing. They made it a little bit worse than it was fine before, but now it's a little harder to maneuver. Still good, but it's a little harder to maneuver for some reason. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm trying to think in my head how big that is. Let's look at the, okay, so it's, oh, it's actually quite wide. It'd be wider than a soda can. So we'll make it a little bit smaller. I don't want it that big. But it's kind of important to work out the size. Actually, what I really should have done was work out the size in Nomad, because then I can just, if I need to reprint like teeth or something like that, I can just reprint them. Okay, so let's make him a little bit smaller and then we'll go from there. Okay, so maybe that's a good size. So I'm going to hit R so I can rotate. And actually, let's just rotate him. So let's just get, oh, structural errors. I'll repair it. Usually it just repairs and there's not too much problem. So I'm not sure what it fixes, but I just let it do its thing. Okay, so now basically it's all about arranging this thing on the bed. So we just kind of move everything around. So for him, I want the front to be the smoothest. So I really want the back. And there's something that I've been doing. I'm going to hit R so I can rotate. I've been doing them like this, but what happens is the very top part usually has the way that the layers finish off. It kind of makes like a little hole. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to actually turn him so that the face is still smooth, and maybe the hole is a little bit over there, but Maybe I'll turn him a little bit more that way. I want to hopefully rectify that issue. So then we'll move. Let's see if I remember. Oh yeah, T is move. Okay. I haven't printed actually in quite some time. Been traveling, so I haven't been able to print. Yeah, so this is good. Like one side of the thingy. So we'll take the one side of the build plate. That's what this is called. The thing below. It's called a build plate. Build plate. So I'm going to rotate this like so. And I'll move it next to him, next to our guy. And then we have the teeth. Not sure which ones these are, but I want to rotate so that the fronts of them are facing up. That way there's no damage from the supports. And this one, turn around as well, and then rotate. Okay, so maybe we'll put this one here as well. This isn't really a great use of space, so let's rotate this. And move it towards the end, and let's take both of these and rotate them. And then move them over here. And I also don't want them too close to the build plate, because I've noticed that sometimes if they're too close, they kind of get warped a little bit. So I'm going to move that out so it's not on the shadow of the head. I'll move this one as well. So they're all kind of there, they all have their own separate space. So that looks pretty good. So I also want to print the full body one. And again, he's quite tiny. So I'm going to save this. Save scene as... We'll just do save scene. It should ask me. So this will just be Lucky. Okay, so we have that saved. We'll grab this guy and then we will... I wonder if I can make it big. No, I can't. Okay. I don't know if I can make it bigger from there. So we'll repair the model and then we'll just do T. Oh no, not T. We need scale. Okay, I think I get it now. So up is just bigger, essentially. Okay. So here's just the regular sculpt. Pretty small. I wonder if S is scale. Oh yeah, it is. I'm not that good with shortcuts. Okay, was there anything else that I wanted to print? I think I did have another little character I wanted to print actually. So let's rotate him. Maybe I can print him on the build plate. I've actually never printed anything on the build plate. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So maybe I can actually, might even be able to move him and fit him here. Yeah, that's a better use of space. It's not interfering with anything else. So let's save. I did have something else that I never printed, and I'm very curious, so I'm going to go back to my STLs. I think it was buggy. I don't even know. I'm not even sure what's up with this guy. Okay, so that's that. Let's hit S. Make it bigger so I can see what's going on. Oh, I feel like it's not getting bigger. There we go. What do they do? I don't know what they did to this. I never had any issues with the scales thing before. I mean, I guess they made it better, but I don't know. Okay. It looks kind of pixelated, but usually they print just fine. Okay. I think that's pretty good size. Maybe I should do it a little bit bigger. I do have some, I have some space, so I'll do it a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's take him. First, let's repair this model. One hole, great. Whatever that means, cool. Okay, so maybe we'll just turn him sideways. Put him here. Guess he has a little shell. Okay, so now we have the little shell that I'll put here. I think these are much cleaner teeth than the other ones. So we'll rotate these teeth. This is actually how I should do it. From now on, I have to do... Actually, I just have to flatten the teeth, I think, because these look really good. They look really good. All right, I don't know if these are the upper teeth or lower teeth. Eyebrows. Make sure they're in their own space. So these should probably go in the outer corner or the outside. Shout out to Shoe2Box. Really great company. I talked to some of the women that work there. They were very, very nice, but you know, I just had a problem with using that program because I couldn't like look at my models from all the angles. And I don't know, I think I had used this first, I guess, so that was just like very difficult for me to like not have like full maneuverability. I guess I should say. Twist this back. And I also want to twist it on its side. Okay, so I need to find a nice place for this. Okay, what is the best? Oh, you know what? I know what I should do. I should move these, rotate this. All these processes take like so long. And it does take some time to just get used to like this whole thing, like this whole process. I tried to use Anycubic's software to do my first prints, but that did not go well. Although in their defense, I'm guessing that the program is probably geared towards people with PCs, since maybe that's like the name of the game. I actually don't know why I'm making all of these so high. I don't think they need to be so high. All right, let's find a good place for this tongue. It always turns like in the opposite way I want it to go. I just need a little more space, I think. He just won't let me. There we go. There we go. Plenty of space. Sorry, I know this isn't terribly exciting, but it is 100% necessary. So, okay, so that's kind of low. He's a bit low. He's going to actually determine how long the sculpt is, because you really don't want, like, the higher it is, the longer the sculpt is going to take. So it's actually not that high, ultimately. But this might be a problem. I'm a little nervous about that, but I think I'm going to move him up a little bit. Okay. I've just had an issue with things being too low to the build plate, so I'm a little nervous about that. But this actually looks good. It looks like I have plenty of space for everything. Save the scene. And you want to have a full, I like having a nice full tray. So I think that should work. Okay, so the next step is everything is good here. So then you go to prepare, whatever program you have, you want to prepare it. So essentially there are supports. Supports are resin pieces that come from the build plate to your resin. So it builds so you resin print the supports, which in turn have very small edges, and they connect to your resin printed parts. There's a lot of supports. But before we do that, I want to hollow. So I'm going to tap hollow here. Hollowing on. So this is going to hollow. And this is actually the width of in millimeters, the width of the resin print. So for example, inside the head, inside the body and stuff, that's all going to be hollow. So for thickness, I'm going to bring this down. I can't remember what I used to do. I think 1.5 is good. Infill, I'm just going to do 10. I can probably do less, but I'm going to go with 10. So the thickness is 1.5. Okay, so being that you print this stuff hollow, you need to make holes in them. So tap on holes, and this is the diameter of the hole. So for example, if I click on him, you see that? That's where the hole is going to be. And I don't want to make the hole in the stomach, but that's where the hole is going to be. So I usually make a hole here. So I'm going to tap, and now the hole is in his tail, but it's too big, so I'm going to lower the diameter of it. Like so. And I also need to check the other side, because I don't want it to come through. Okay, so that should be fine. I'm also going to put some smaller ones. So I'm going to put some smaller ones in the feet. Right here and right here. Okay. And obviously you can see inside this guy's mouth, but you're not going to see here because of the tongue. So I think it's safe to put one here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I think it's safe to put one there because he has a really big tongue. So I think that's going to cover all of that. I think that's it. I think those are the only clean spots where I can put the holes. So that should work. Oh, actually, you know what? I can put one here as well. So I'll put one here in the back. Maybe I'll make it a little smaller. So now there's a hole in the back as well. So there's plenty of places where I can drain the excess resin that's going to be inside, which is very, very important. Okay, so now we'll go to the shell, and I'll just put two here and maybe one here. That should be fine. Tongue, the tongue is kind of thick, so we'll put one here. You know what? Let's make them smaller and put two. So we'll move this one here, and we'll move this one here. And we'll put some back here as well. And I just want to make sure that the holes aren't poking through on the other side. So that looks good. Let's go ahead and give it a save. Now these parts are probably too small to have holes. But maybe I'll just put some little ones in there just in case. But I really think that they're too small. They don't actually look too small though. I'm gonna put some holes there just in case. Maybe for this one too. Doesn't look like it's coming through the other side, so it shouldn't really hurt anything. Okay, so now we'll go to this guy. And he's hollow, so I think I can put the holes on the bottom of the feet. So that's safe. So he'll have a hole in the bottom of the feet, and maybe inside the top part of his head too, maybe. We'll put one here and one here. Shouldn't really see them. But I think that's it. Should be okay, hopefully. So this is going to be hollow. I'm just trying to think of, the resin really needs a place to like come and go. So it could potentially be an issue. Put another hole up there. Hopefully that will be enough. We shall see. I'll undo that hole. Okay, so hopefully this will be good. Kind of hard to know if it will. So for this one in the back, I can put one here. So we'll move it over to the middle. We'll make it a little bit bigger, and maybe we'll make it a little deeper. So that should be able to flush the body out. Oh, you know what? On this, why don't we put one here as well? Okay, back to this guy. We'll put some in the feet. Ooh. This is a problem. So let's just move this up. Here we go. I just want it to go into the body, so that should be good. All right, so let's put one here, one here. That should flush out from the head. It's really hard to get that one in the center. Okay, that should be good. So the only other thing, the tongue, the bottom part of this tongue, we'll put some holes. I don't think those teeth need it, so I'm not even going to bother with that. All right, so I think I have him all holed up. Make this one a little bit bigger. And everything should be good. Okay, so I'm going to save it. Looks good. I should take a screenshot of this. Something like that. Yeah, you know what? Let's take that screenshot. It's a nice screenshot. Okay. Wait, why don't I have... I think the teeth are going to cover this, so why don't I put a hole there as well? It's good to look and look again, because honestly, like, I've had situations where I've done this and then I'll miss something crucial and it'll ruin the whole print. So you really gotta be diligent. Okay, so I'm just going to save one more time because I think I made a quick change. So next, what we'll have to do is add the supports. So we'll go to supports here, and I just do auto supports. Generate automatic supports. It'll go through and add them. And usually it's fine. I don't usually add any or take any away. I kind of just let them do its thing. Oh, I forgot to select everything. So I need to generate the supports on all these things. Sometimes it's actually easy to miss things too, so you really have to pay attention when you're doing the supports. Up they get, up they get. It's making a lot of calculations. Okay, so this is all the supports and bracings and things like that that will be printed. What happened to your supports? Oh, there we go. That was weird. So here's all the supports. Everything looks good. I don't see, it doesn't look like anything is missed. Everything looks nice and supported. Let's select everything. That's probably a nice screenshot as well. Okay, let me save and just do another screenshot. These icons, man, you got to take these screenshots because it's annoying to like come back and then like have to figure it out. Okay, good, cool. So now once that is done and you're all set, I don't think there's anything else I need here. We'll go to export. Anti-aliasing, we'll just keep it off. Sometimes I play around with that. I don't know if it's any different. Anycubic Photon M3 Premium, it'll have your printer here and the resin that you're using. So, and then export slices to file. So I'm gonna export. And we get some not commercial, advertising. I don't know if I can exit out. I think that will exit out of me. Continue. Export slices to file. Okay, Lucky slice. And now it should slice through everything. So we're looking at the build plate, so we're looking straight down at it. These are all the supports that we made, and eventually these will get bigger as it gets to the actual pieces of the characters. Then it'll get like kind of bigger and it'll start making. So this is slice by slice by slice of our characters. You can see that they're hollow. That's why it's thick here, but it's nothing in the middle. So we're just rising up, covering the whole, all of the characters. You see the teeth and stuff there. And this is the rendering. So it's going to go through that and then we'll save it. I think I'm going to print it tomorrow. I would print it tonight, but if my printer's in my room and it's just like, it's going to stink and the fumes and things like that. So it gets a little rough. So what I need to do is, firstly, I need to figure out how to dispose of denatured alcohol. And also I need to check the printer. I need to check the resin. I haven't printed in a while, so I have to check the resin. But I'm going to record all that tomorrow as well, just so you guys can have an idea of like all the stuff that goes into it on that end. So once we get this into the printer, and then tomorrow I'll get it printed. Hopefully it'll work. It'll probably take like 5 or 6 hours to print. And then once we do that, it's the whole post-processing, getting them all out, cleaning them. What's it called? Putting it in the ultraviolet light. That's definitely wrong. 2 hours and 52 minutes. That's definitely wrong. $5.10. That's actually a lot. I wonder why. I probably could have made it thinner. Interesting. Anyway, open folder, I guess. Okay, yeah, so Lucky Slice. So that's it. So the next thing that I'll do is it comes with a little USB drive. So all I'm going to do is take the little USB drive and plug it in the computer. Let me move my mic. I have a little dongle that I have to use for my USB. Allow. Okay, so here's Anycubic. So I'll open this up. I've got the pumpkin pieces. So I'm going to take Lucky Slice and drop it into Anycubic. So just dropping the slice file, and this is the file that is read by the printer, PM3R, whatever that is. So Lucky Slice is now on the USB, so I'm just going to eject it. So we'll close this, we'll save this scene, so we can close Lychee. Alright, so that's about it for this one. The next video will be sticking this in the printer and going from there. Hopefully we won't have any issues. Cross your fingers for me. Alright, keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video. I created this entire 3D sculpt on my iPad in a program called Nomad Sculpt. I love 2D character design, but being able to turn them into 3D has just been... Welcome to my 3D character workshop in Nomad Sculpt. I'm Drug Free Dave, and I've been drawing traditionally forever, right up until the time I discovered digital art with Procreate. The ability to design characters in 3D has been a game changer for me, and it also ignited passions in art I didn't even know I had. I've been able to export my 3D sculpts to Blender for more in-depth work, and I've also started creating physical art that I can hold in my hands with resin 3D printing. This class is geared towards those of you who know the basics of Nomad Sculpt and just want to get better at 3D character design. Here's what we'll go over in class. Opening and preparing our scene for sculpting, importing our reference image, blocking out our character using simple shapes or primitives, tailoring the shapes to exactly what we need, adding details like teeth, tongue, and fingers, simple scene lighting and painting techniques, post-processing to make our art ready for render or to send to other applications. If you're not sure if you're experienced enough to take this course, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'll go over each step I'm making and why I'm making it. If you've been working in Nomad for a while, you'll still discover new things to add to your arsenal from my workflow. I continue to learn new aspects of the program and more efficient ways to sculpt with each and every project. Speaking of projects, in the next video, I'll go over what we'll create in class, and I'll also expand on ways that you can switch things up and really make it your own. Once again, I'm Drug Free Dave, and I look forward to seeing you in class.